Welcome to ABC 31 News Tonight. I'm Scott Beadle. After Harvey wreaks havoc on Houston and parts of Texas, the storm is ready to take aim again, this time at Louisiana. We are expecting tropical storm conditions here with the possibility of flooding rains. Governor John Bel Edwards says officials are ready to do battle, ironically, on the 12th anniversary of when Hurricane Katrina first hit.
And certainly we have personnel and assets spread strategically across the state of Louisiana in terms of law enforcement folks, fire marshals, wildlife and fisheries, and Louisiana Army National Guard with vessels and high water vehicles to be prepared for whatever might come our way from Harvey.
Dangerous weather is our big story tonight, and we begin team coverage with meteorologist Ross Whitley, who's tracking it all.
Yeah, that's right. The track of Harvey has actually shifted east just a little bit, and that puts us in the line of the center of rotation. That means two things. One good news is that the tornado threat will actually be less as we go throughout the day tomorrow because we're going to be closer to the center of rotation. But the bad news is it probably means our rainfall totals are going to be just a little bit higher. Looking at what we had today, 76 degrees, 68 last night, picked up nearly 3/4 of an inch of rain already today, and more rainfall is on the way with feeder bands filling back in, and of course that center of rotation getting a little bit closer to us. We'll have the details on what you can expect, and I'll break it down for you coming up just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Ross. As Harvey moves closer, ABC 31's Joanna Phillips has the story of how central Louisiana is preparing for that severe weather.
Today marks the 12-year anniversary of Hurricane Katrina, a name that will continue to be known for years to come. And at this time, Hurricane Harvey has devastated parts of Texas and southwest Louisiana. Rescue efforts are in constant action in Texas, and Harvey has made its way back into the Gulf. Flood and tornado threats are currently increasing for south and south-central Louisiana. Preparations are underway for chances of severe weather here in central Louisiana.
As of right now, we're just continuing the preparations that we started last Thursday, and that is the distribution points for our sand and sandbags throughout the community. They're talking about the second landfall occurring sometime midday tomorrow, with the eye of the storm actually being very close to Alexandria by Thursday morning. Residents need to go ahead and make their preparations now. Check their flashlights, make sure that they have, batteries, if they need gasoline for their generators, things like that.
Sandbags are available at multiple locations around the area. And with the large amount of rain, residents are encouraged to remove any debris from drainage areas to prevent issues, but only if it's safe to do so.
If you see debris in a ditch or something, if you can safely remove it, remove it. If you need help, call the parish barn in the outer areas or call the city. The parish barn is 473-6603.
Here in Alexandria, we're experiencing stronger winds and the rain will continue. Residents are urged to make preparations now as we expect severe weather and power outages when Hurricane Harvey makes a second appearance on land. Joanna Phillips, ABC 31 News.
We're told Grand Parish schools will dismiss tomorrow early afternoon at 1 p.m. in anticipation of bad weather. Again, that early dismissal is at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. At least 8 people are now confirmed dead in Texas, and another family says 6 of their family members are believed dead after their van was swept away by floodwaters. Houston police say one officer drowned on his way to work, trapped in his flooded patrol car. Lana Zach is in Houston with the latest.
President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania arrived in Corpus Christi to receive a briefing on the historic floods.
This was of epic proportion. Nobody's ever seen anything like this.
Many of the officials present told the president that recovery is just beginning.
Recovery is a slow process, but rest assured that we're doing everything we can.
In Houston, an epic rescue effort continues around the clock to save people trapped by rising floodwaters. And this man, stuck on top of his car, waited for crews in a dinghy to spirit him to dry ground. We saw firsthand how evacuated residents are filling shelters beyond capacity.
We're not going to turn people away.
The emergency shelter at the convention center in downtown Houston was meant to house 5,000 people. It's now almost doubled that, beyond capacity at nearly 9,000 and growing. The mayor promised more shelters will open and has requested more cots. To make matters worse, a pair of old reservoir dams built 70 years ago to protect downtown Houston are now overflowing their levees, adding to the rising floodwaters. The floodgates at other dams are releasing water at twice their normal rate, trying to relieve some of the pressure. And the 5 consecutive days of rain has set a new U.S. record for rainfall for a tropical system. One weather station southeast of Houston reported over 49 inches of rain as of Tuesday morning.
More than 1 trillion gallons have been dumped here on top of Harris County. And to give you some perspective of what all of that means, it's enough to fuel Niagara Falls for 15 days. Reporting from Houston, Lana Zach, ABC News.
5 nurses from Christus St. Francis Cabrini Hospital in Alexandria gathered at the Alexandria International Airport last night to catch a flight to San Antonio, Texas. They're providing their expertise, along with others from the Louisiana Christus Health System, to help patients affected by Harvey.
We have a team of 5 nurses from our hospital, including our Director for Emergency Services, that are flying to San Antonio tonight to provide relief services, relief nursing care for the staff at one of our sister hospitals.
I know what Katrina looked like and kind of anticipating the same type of scenario, but you know, I've never experienced it firsthand, so this is new to me.
The group will be in Texas throughout the week, working shifts at the Christus Santa Rosa Hospital Medical Center in San Antonio. They'll fly back home Friday after a week of helping out their sister hospital. Alexandria police have canceled a missing person alert after Brandy Snyder was found. No details of where she turned up. A Pineville man is arrested by Rapides deputies for several charges of improper sexual behavior with children in the Boyce area. 72-year-old John Robert Brown Sr. is charged with indecent behavior, sexual battery, and obstruction of justice. A Pineville man pleads guilty to using an online storage site for child pornography. 26-year-old Brandon McNamara pleaded guilty in federal court to possession of child porn. The case was developed with assistance from Canadian authorities. He'll be sentenced in December, faces up to 20 years in prison and mandatory registration as a sex offender. Alexandria police say they've arrested 4 teens in connection with burglaries of vehicles in the Fairfield and High Point neighborhoods. These are 2 of them. They're 17-year-old Dontario Wilson and 18-year-old Ladarian Bowers. 2 juveniles were also arrested. The 4 of them are all from Alexandria. Wilson and Bowers are accused of burglaries and of contributing to the delinquency of minors. Wilson is also accused of possession of a stolen handgun, which police say was taken during those break-ins. Eckerd wraparound agencies provide a variety of services for kids. You have offices in Alexandria and Lafayette, as well as in other states. Here's a look at just a few of the things they offer.
We service children from 0 up until their 22nd birthday, children who have the Louisiana Medicaid. Those are under those 5 Healthy Louisiana plans. We get them connected with services within their community. Any children who are diagnosed with ADHD or ODD, those type of diagnoses, we help those children get connected with those services. We help within the school, we help them within the home. We come with 5 services, which are your independent living skills put-in services, parent support and youth support services, crisis stabilization and respite.
And to find out more about the Stenla Wraparound Agency, you can visit them off Coliseum Boulevard or call 318-443-7909. Louisiana sweet potato farmers are anxious to get into their fields and begin harvesting what looks like a very promising crop. LSU Ag Center correspondent Craig Gotro has the story.
Louisiana sweet potato farmers are optimistic about this year's crop and will soon be in their fields to begin harvesting.
Probably start harvesting sometime around the first part of September. Some of the people are starting to make arrangements to get their labor crews in to harvest the crop, and by then the crews should be here and we should be kicked off harvesting.
This year's sweet potato acreage is up to nearly 10,000 acres, which is good news for consumers and farmers. Sistrunk believes that producers should see high yields based on the fields he has visited.
If it shapes up and the weather cooperates with us throughout the season, we get the crop out, we could be looking at a bumper crop.
Sistrunk says there's a potential for yields to be 20 to 25% higher than a typical year, which he said would be extraordinary considering the wet growing season. Vanoy Kennard, a grower in Morehouse Parish, expects to have a good crop, but he's concerned about potential damage from the persistent rains.
All the crops around look real good right now. We've had a lot of rain. We're afraid. We know we're going to have a little rot, but we hope it's not too much.
A group of 35 small farmers from Washington Parish made a 5-hour bus ride to get an up-close look at some of the LSU Ag Center's research on sweet potatoes. The visit helped them determine if large-scale farming techniques could be applied to their operations.
view some of the production facilities and equipment that is used. And as a result of that, I think they get a better appreciation for what they're trying to do on a small scale.
With good weather, growers could wrap up their harvest by the end of October. With the LSU Ag Center, this is Craig Gotro reporting.
Sweet potato production had a total value of $76 million last year in Louisiana, which includes $32 million in added value processing. Up next, they found their calling when Hurricane Katrina hit. Now the Cajun Navy is back in action, making rescues in Texas.
Wait, whoa! Oh, I can't get enough of this video.
Right This Minute is TV's #1 daily viral video show. Right This Minute.
Coming this fall on KLAX TV.
They call themselves the Cajun Navy, and they're back in action as Hurricane Harvey takes a toll on parts of Texas. WBRZ's Bess Casserly has the story.
It's a familiar sight for many here in Baton Rouge. Now the grassroots group that helped so many here during last August floods is headed to Houston.
We have right now between 75 to 100 pit boats that's going and about 200 vehicles.
The rescue group collected donations at Costco Monday morning before driving the 300 miles to Houston. People who couldn't make the trip dropped off everything from diapers to phone chargers. Even Congressman Garrett Graves showed his support.
This is South Louisiana. This is people. This shows you what happens when you have somebody who's actually been through this experience before.
Many of these volunteers have dropped everything they're doing to help out, including their jobs.
We're all taking off indefinitely. You know, we some of us own our own businesses, so you take off, you don't get paid, but we're doing this to help our neighbors.
And the need in Houston is great. Founder of the Cajun Navy, John Bridger, says the requests for help have been filling his Facebook page.
Well, I went to bed at 3:30 this morning. I had about 1,200. I woke up this morning at 7:30. I think I've got about 2,200.
42,000 cans of water have been donated to the Red Cross in Baton Rouge by Anheuser-Busch for those impacted by Hurricane Harvey. This is the third time in 2 years that the company has donated to that site in Baton Rouge. The donated water is currently on standby and ready to be shipped to Texas for those in need. And we are definitely going to need a lot of aid shipments going in there in the next few days and weeks.
Probably next month to probably years. I mean, a lot of places are going to be just completely devastated. Looking at the satellite picture, Harvey has strengthened a little bit, and while still remaining a tropical storm, it is likely to head in our direction. We're going to be feeling the impacts of it as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Lots of rain on the way, and I'll have the details coming up next.
Florida State versus Alabama, Saturday at 7 on KLAX TV. Brought to you locally by Cal's Air Conditioning and Electrical.
Hi, I'm meteorologist Ross Woodley looking at our radar and satellite, and of course we're still focusing on Harvey. Tropical Storm Harvey now centered just to the south of Galveston and going to continue to move off to the north-northeast at about 8 miles per hour. To put in perspective, this is the fastest that Harvey has moved in days. The average speed of Harvey has been less than 3 miles per hour since making landfall on Friday last week. So it is a very slow-moving storm and has started to pick up speed, and the track has actually shifted well to the east, but continuing on that north-northeast pattern is what we're going to continue to see. You notice a lot of the rain is actually falling on the western side of this, and that's because the wind is actually shearing off a lot of this convection to the western side. So as that center of rotation gets closer to us, we'll actually be closer to the heavier rainfall. Now, looking in a little bit closer to what's going on, we have this feeder band spinning in, and what I was talking about tomorrow with the tornado, or yesterday with the tornado potential, it's starting to come true. This band right here, you can see this rotation in these storms as they continue to zip off to the west. Even one tornado warning currently down just north of Lake Charles. But as this band continues to move northward, we'll be closer and closer to those rotating storms. Of course, you notice that the rain shield here is slowly shifting off to the east, even as we go through right now as well. All the green you see on the map is flash flood watches. All of the lighter green you see on the map is flash flood warnings. So no immediate warnings in our area, but plenty of watches and plenty of rain on the way. We'll continue to see these showers and storms move into our area overnight and then stay with us as we go throughout the day tomorrow. Now looking at Futurecast, starting this out at 7:30 tonight, you see a pretty good rain shield across the area. Here's the feeder band we were just talking about, slowly moving in, and you see all of those cells zipping off to the west. So that is when we will be concerned for tornadoes in the area. As the center gets closer and closer to us, our winds will increase overall, probably going to be gusting at times 40 to 50 miles per hour with loose soil. Could definitely mean power outages around the area as well. But the rainfall is really going to be the biggest issue as we go throughout the next 36 to 48 hours, with the rain shield being a little bit closer to us. So the tornado threat has actually gone down a little bit as we go throughout tonight. We're still going to be concerned about it going into tomorrow morning, but as that center gets closer to us, it'll be the wind and the rain that we have to deal with. I'm probably going to be seeing somewhere between 3 and 6 inches more of rain of what we've already seen. And for reference, we've picked up already about 5 inches of rain. So add another 6 on top of that, and that will be on the high end of what we could possibly see out of this by the time we get to Friday. Good news is, as we get to Friday, we will start to clear things out and return back to more of a normal pattern. Looking at the track, you can see that the forecast has shifted to put it basically on top of us as we go throughout Wednesday night into Thursday morning. The center should just be just north of us. Forecast for tomorrow, no surprise. Tornadoes possible mainly earlier in the day. Tropical storm conditions are definitely possible, about a 100% chance of rain. And our 7-day forecast, luckily the area of rain shrinking. So only Wednesday and Thursday we're really concerned about heavy rain, then getting more into a normal pattern as we go Friday to Tuesday of next week. So look at your weather. Scott?
All right, thank you, Ross. Coming up in sports, the La Tech volleyball team will have to wait an extra week before they take to the court again. But the Lady Demon squad from Northwestern State is gearing up for 4 games in 4 days. We'll hear from the head coach ahead of this week's pivotal stretch.
When it comes to cleaning up the streets of Boston,
this is who I am. This is what I do. Now get me in there. He did it, and I know where the proof is.
It's ladies first. Rizzoli and Isles.
Weekends at 11 on KLAX TV.
Good evening. Welcome back to KLAX ABC31 Sports. I'm Zach Seminar. Every year, the Rotary Club of Alexandria hosts Pigskin Preview for local high school football teams to get a positive head start on the season. Rotary Club members got to meet some of the coaches and players from area high schools. The players had a chance to share their future college plans and talk about the upcoming season. And the coaches had some encouraging words for all the players.
Well, you know, high school football, as you've heard a lot of people say in there, it's so much more. High school athletics, high school extracurricular. It's just about planting seeds in young people. They learn to be members of teams. They learn hard work and dedication, commitment, sacrifice. They learn a lot of things that are going to serve them no matter what avenue they choose to go into.
Now, the Northwestern State volleyball team is coming off of a tough season opening tournament at Oklahoma, but the team will look to rebound with a stretch of 4 matches in 4 days. It all starts with a midweek trip to face Alcorn State tomorrow beginning at 5 p.m. Alcorn coming off of a 3-0 defeat to start the season, and they're looking for their first win as well, much like the Demons will be. NSU is muscling their way through a busy first couple of weeks of the season, and NSU head coach Sean Kirikoff said he believes his team learned from their rough start last season and believes they will bounce back much better this time around.
You know, I think I was pleased with last year, and I'm even more pleased and happy about this weekend.
We really competed well with some tough teams, and on top of that, you know, we had positions, individuals that really produced great numbers. That's something that we didn't do maybe last year as much. We fought hard and we competed in some sets, but we didn't have the consistent production that we did this year, so that was a big improvement. And then the goal is to be able to take that and carry it over into next weekend and be able to continue to play at that high level of production and just as a team.
The Lady Demons will have an off day Thursday before returning to action at the Troy Invite Friday and Saturday.
Let's take one last look at our forecast.
Yeah, of course, the 7-day forecast concentrating on the next 2 days with the impacts of Tropical Storm Harvey. Tomorrow, one thing I did leave out is that with any of the tornado warnings, lead times are going to be very, very short because these spin-ups will be very, very quick. So if you do have a warning in your area for you, take immediate action as if a tornado is very imminent, because lead times will be very, very short. These things spin up very rapidly. On top of that, we're going to be dealing with wind and rain tomorrow. Gusts could be as high as 50 miles per hour with saturated soils. I do expect to see some power outages around the area. Highs only going to be near 80 degrees and plenty of rain. Looking at the potential for another 4 to 6 inches of rain by the time we get done with this storm sometime early in the day on Friday.
All right, so preparedness, really key right now.
Absolutely.
All right, thanks, Ross. Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Predators better pray.
Crime Watch Daily airs weekdays at 3 on KLAX TV.
Our military makeover recognizes the sacrifice of a deserving young Marine.
Tune in and learn about an American hero, the community and the companies who come together to give back.